Have you ever wondered why the moment you start truly caring, she starts pulling away? You think you're doing the right thing. You listen. You remember details. You check in. You send the good morning texts. You make plans. You act like the man who won't vanish. And still, she fades. Slower replies. Less warmth, less effort. Suddenly, she's busy. Suddenly, she needs space. You're left staring at your phone, wondering how showing up turned into pushing her away. It messes with your mind. You replay every moment, looking for what you said wrong. You start blaming yourself, wondering if you were boring, too eager, not confident enough. You doubt your value. You question your masculinity. And worst of all, you don't see the trap you walked into. Because here's the truth. Modern dating isn't about what you give. It's about what you withhold. What you don't say, what you don't chase, what you don't invest too soon. Some women test men not through words, but through silence. They'll smile at you just enough, respond just enough, keep you on the hook just enough, until your desire outpaces her respect. And once that balance shifts, once she senses you're more emotionally invested than she is, she doesn't feel safe. She feels powerful, and power, misused, turns interest into manipulation. You think you're building connection. She's reading your every message as emotional surrender. You gave your card away too early. You started playing chess with your king exposed. And in her subconscious, the game is over. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a woman flirt with you, give you her number, talk sweet for a few days, and then vanish without warning? That wasn't an accident. That wasn't confusion. That was a power test, and you failed it without knowing you were taking it. She wanted to see what you would do when she pulled back, not because she was cruel, but because she needed to feel something. Tension, value, polarity. When you chased harder, she lost the edge. When you over-responded, she felt emotionally superior. When you needed her more than she needed you, she stopped feeling anything at all. This is the truth most men miss until it's too late. Emotional intensity from a man who hasn't earned respect yet is repulsive. You think being kind early makes you different, but in her eyes, it makes you replaceable. And here's the part no one wants to say out loud. When a woman senses that you do anything to keep her attention, she instinctively starts to test just how far she can pull away before you panic. And most men do panic. They text longer paragraphs. They ask, "Did I do something wrong?" They try to fix things that weren't broken, and they unknowingly kill attraction with every emotionally desperate move. You can't beg your way into desire. You can't overcompensate your way into mystery. Once you lose tension, you lose her imagination. And once her imagination is gone, her attraction follows. So what do you do instead? You become aware of your energy. You never emotionally lean forward until you've felt her lean in first. You match, not overextend. You stay centered, no matter how inconsistent she becomes. Let me give you a real example. I knew a guy, we'll call him Eric. He met a girl at a bar. They vibed instantly, exchanged numbers, texted that night. She called him funny and sweet. For the next few days, they chatted non-stop. She initiated some of the conversations, but by day 5, she slowed down, didn't reply until late at night. Eric noticed. He told himself not to overreact, but then he texted her again the next morning, then again after lunch, then a few memes to keep the mood light. She replied once, "Sorry, I've just been super busy." That was the last message she ever sent. Eric didn't scare her off because he was bad or boring. He scared her off because he gave her more than she had to earn. She didn't trust that energy. It felt emotionally dependent. It felt like too much. Too soon. Now imagine if Eric had done something different. Imagine he noticed her delay and matched it, pulled back, waited, focused on his own plans, let her wonder, Let her feel the emotional silence for once. She might have chased, or she might not have, but either way, he would have kept his power, his center, his value, because in modern dating, the man who can hold space without filling it with need is the man she keeps thinking about. Have you ever done this and didn't realize it pushed her away? Tell me what happened. What's the hardest thing you faced when trying to keep a woman interested? Drop your story below. Which mistake do you see yourself making the most? Be honest in the comments. You keep hearing that confidence is attractive, but no one tells you what confidence looks like when a woman pulls away. Most men confuse confidence with performance. They think confidence means acting unaffected, playing it cool, pretending not to care. But deep down, they're still chasing, still trying to prove, still trying to get something. And she feels it, because no matter how slick your words are, your energy tells the truth. You text less, but your silence feels tense. You wait longer, but your heart is pacing. You don't double text, but you check your phone every 5 minutes. That's not confidence. That's emotional dependency wearing a mask. Real confidence is when you don't need to pretend, when you can let her go not as a test, not to provoke a reaction, but because you actually don't need her to validate you. Most women don't leave because you're not attractive. They leave because they feel your emotional need before you feel it yourself. And that makes them panic, because they don't want to be responsible for your emotional state. They want to be inspired by it. You've probably been told to lead with vulnerability, and yes, vulnerability has power, but only when it's earned. Only when you already have her respect. When a man shares his emotions too early, too untested, he turns vulnerability into a burden, and a burden isn't attractive. She doesn't want to carry your heart before she even knows if she wants to hold your hand. You think you're building intimacy. She feels like she's being asked to manage your hope, so she pulls back. Let me show you how this plays out in real life. There was a guy named Marcus. Smart, ambitious, handsome even. He met a woman through work, mutual projects, long calls, late nights. There was tension. He made her laugh. She complimented him. They finally went for drinks. The chemistry was real. Marcus felt it, and so he leaned in. He sent flowers to her office after the second date, told her he hadn't felt this way in years. He meant it, but she went quiet. He thought maybe he'd scared her, so he tried to be more understanding. Sent her a long message about how he respected her space and was ready when she was. She never replied, and Marcus was left shattered. Not because he got rejected, but because he gave everything good inside him too soon and it got ignored. What he didn't understand was this: women aren't repelled by emotion. They're repelled by unearned access to a man's emotional core. When a woman hasn't struggled to win your attention, she can't value what you freely give. It's not evil, it's psychological. Desire needs resistance, intimacy needs mystery, and love needs space to want. So here's the tactical truth when she pulls away. You do nothing. You don't chase. You don't ask questions. You don't send a just checking in text. You don't soften your edge. You match her distance, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. Because the man who is unavailable by default is far more attractive than the man who becomes unavailable in reaction. She needs to know that your attention isn't free, that your emotions are earned, that your energy is not up for negotiation. This doesn't mean you become cold or manipulative or alpha. It means you stop playing the game from behind. You stop making moves hoping to win her back. You sit still and let her notice the space where your attention used to be. Because if she truly values you, she will feel that space. And if she doesn't, then you were the only one playing from the heart. Let me give you something to use right now. The next time a woman pulls away after showing interest, pause. Don't react for 48 hours. No messages, no updates. No likes on her stories. Just stillness. Then ask yourself this: has she earned more of my energy? Or am I just addicted to the feeling of chasing? Because if it's the latter, every text you send is a silent admission that your center doesn't belong to you anymore. This is what most men never realize until it's too late. You teach her how to treat you in the moments you feel most desperate. Every time you reach out when she's pulling away, you reinforce her power and erode yours. But when you can sit in that discomfort, when you can breathe through it, center yourself, and let her silence echo, you create attraction through absence. You create respect through restraint. You become a man who's not afraid to lose a woman because he refuses to lose himself. Have you ever waited in silence and watched her come back stronger? Or did you break first? Be honest. What's the hardest part about staying calm when she pulls away? Let's talk about it in the comments. Have you ever tried to match her distance but slipped back into over-texting, share your story below? There's a moment in every man's life when he realizes he was never rejected for not being enough, but for being too available too soon. It hits you late. Usually after the third or fourth time, a woman loses interest right when you start getting serious. You sit there, confused, angry, maybe even ashamed. You gave your best. You showed up. You were consistent, attentive, honest, and somehow it turned her off. You might even say to yourself, maybe women don't want good men. But that's not true. Women do want good men. What they don't want, what they can't feel anything for, is a man who gives his goodness before he's made her feel the weight of it. You see, your presence only has value if it's paired with standards. Your kindness only creates desire when it's surrounded by strength, and your attention only magnetizes her when she's had to earn it. You don't realize how early you give yourself away. It happens in small, invisible ways. You laugh at jokes that aren't funny. You text back instantly even when you're in the middle of something important. You cancel your plans to be available for her schedule. You accept lukewarm energy and convince yourself it's just how she is. And the worst part, you know you're doing it. Deep down, you feel the discomfort, the imbalance. You feel your self-respect being shaved away, one compromise at a time. But you tell yourself, if I'm patient, if I'm understanding, she'll see my worth. She won't. Because here's the brutal truth when a man overextends himself emotionally in the early stages. He signals one thing: lack of options. You might think you're being romantic. She sees desperation. You think your loyalty is impressive. She sees it as untested. You think your attention will make her stay. She feels the weight of carrying your validation needs on her back. And slowly, quietly, she pulls away, not because she wants someone else, but because she no longer respects the version of you that gave her power for connection. Let me show you what this looks like in the real world. There was a guy named Chris. Solid guy, gym routine, career on track, loyal to a fault. He met a girl at his cousin's wedding. Sparks flew, they danced, laughed, swapped numbers. He waited a day to text her, then the floodgates opened. Every morning, a good morning text. Every evening, how was your day? He'd offer to pick her up, drive her to places, pay for everything without her ever offering a thank you. She didn't even pretend to reciprocate, but she smiled. And Chris thought, she's just taking her time. I'll keep showing her I'm serious. A month in, she ghosted him. Chris never got closure, just a read message and silence. The truth, she never respected him, because he never made her wonder if she was meeting his standard. He gave without asking, showed up without boundaries, worshipped a woman who hadn't proven she was worth it. She didn't leave because Chris was weak. She left because Chris treated her like a queen before she did anything to deserve the crown. So, what's the strategy? You slow down. You stop rewarding women for beauty alone. You stop offering your energy just because they gave you attention. You stop confusing chemistry with compatibility. Every woman tests you differently, but the core pattern is the same. She wants to feel your value without having instant access to it. It doesn't mean you manipulate her. It means you protect your energy. When she texts you, don't respond like your day just got saved. When she compliments you, thank her but don't act like it means more than it does. When she pulls back, you don't chase, you observe. Because men who observe don't get played, they get information, and information is power. You want an immediate tactic? Try this. Next time you're texting a woman you like, and you feel that surge, that desire to say something sweet, to plan a date, to let her know how much you're thinking about her, pause. Ask yourself, has she earned this? Has she shown consistent interest? Has she initiated conversation? Has she matched your energy? If not, save your words. Let her show you who she is, without the constant encouragement. You'll be surprised how many women rise to the level of a man who refuses to give his heart cheaply. This is where your quiet power begins, not in loud declarations of confidence, but in silent refusals to overgive. Because when a man controls his output, he controls her curiosity, and curiosity, in her world, is what keeps you unforgettable. Have you ever chased too much too fast and regretted it? Tell me how it ended. What's your biggest struggle when it comes to holding back emotional investment? I want to hear it. Have you ever tried protecting your energy and saw a shift in how women treated you? Drop your story below. There's something you don't realize until much later, until after the heartbreak, after the ghosting, after the cold switch from intimacy to indifference. You were never rejected for not being good enough. You were rejected for being too easy to reach. Modern dating isn't fair. It's not balanced. It's not built on logic or effort. It's built on perception. And the man who doesn't understand how he's being perceived will keep giving his heart to women who never truly wanted it. You think you're showing love. She sees a man trying too hard to be chosen. You think you're proving you're different. She sees a man who needs her more than he values himself. And when that perception locks in, when she pegs you as the overinvested one, every word you say becomes less interesting. Every act of care becomes expected. Every bit of affection becomes background noise. She doesn't wake up one day and decide she's done. She slowly loses emotional tension until your presence no longer moves her. And then she disappears. And here's the sickest part, she might not even understand why. She might tell her friends, he was too nice. I just didn't feel it anymore. Because when you don't create any mystery, when you don't give her the chance to earn your time, her mind goes silent. No chase, no wondering, no spark. And without those things, her desire fades. You want her to choose you. You have to stop trying to be chosen. You want her to value you. You have to stop showing her you'll pay any price to be seen. Let me make this practical. When a woman starts becoming inconsistent, less available, slower replies, less affection, what do most men do? They compensate. They get nicer, more accommodating. They double down on attention. They go out of their way to remind her of what they have. But the high-value man does the opposite. He notices the shift and mirrors it, not coldly, not cruelly, but with awareness. He stops initiating. He delays his replies. He shifts his energy inward, toward himself, his goals, his peace. And in doing so, he silently communicates, "You are not the source of my value." That's the real test. Not whether you can get her, but whether you can withstand her withdrawal without losing yourself. Because the moment she feels that your self-worth isn't hanging on her approval, everything changes. She wonders what you're thinking, wonders if you've moved on, wonders if she misread the situation. And now you are the one in her mind. Because distance without explanation is the loudest sound in attraction. Want another tactic. Next time you sense the dynamic shifting, she's pulling back. She's giving mixed signals. Don't confront. Don't explain. Don't defend yourself. Just fall back, silently, elegantly. No announcement, no drama, no, just so you know, I'm stepping back. Just do it. And then do this, fill your time. Work out, build your body. Go deep into your purpose. Call your friends. Build your business. Let your life become so full that her absence feels like a gentle breeze, not a missing limb. Because the goal isn't to get her back. The goal is to never again become a man who loses himself trying to keep someone else interested. There's a story I remember. A guy named Leo met a woman online. Beautiful, smart, witty. They had fire, talked for hours. First date went perfectly. Second was even better. Then she started changing. Longer response gaps, less interest in plans. She stopped texting first. Leo panicked. He bought flowers, wrote a long message explaining how much he enjoyed their time, asking if everything was okay. She never replied. He was crushed. Months later, she liked one of his stories, just a random like. He ignored it. She followed up with a "Hey stranger," but by then, he was different. He told me, I didn't hate her, I didn't blame her, but I realized something. I don't want to be the man who begs to stay in someone's heart. I want to be the man whose absence is felt so deeply that silence speaks louder than words. That's what this is about. Not playing games, but knowing your value so deeply that even love can't pull you into desperation. You want her to respect you, then become a man who respects his own attention so much. He only gives it to those who reflect it back. Have you ever pulled back and watched her chase again? How did it feel? What's one time you wish you had stayed silent instead of trying to fix it? Have you ever rebuilt your confidence after losing yourself in a woman? Share your recovery story below. The hardest lesson a man learns is not how to win a woman's heart. It's how to survive when she walks away with pieces of his soul he never knew he gave her. You sit alone after she stops calling, after she leaves your messages unread, after she moves on like you were just another story she finished reading. You start thinking, was it all fake? Did I imagine the connection? Was I really that easy to forget? Oh, you weren't forgettable. You were too available, too soon, too much, too open before she ever earned the keys. And this is the part most men miss until the silence is unbearable, until the sleepless nights pile up, until their spirit is bent under the weight of what if. It's never about being less emotional. It's about being less exposed. Because in modern dating, your vulnerability isn't respected until your power is felt first. You see, women don't fall for men who show everything at once. They fall for men they have to figure out. Men who move with intent. Men who make them feel chosen, not just accepted. Every time you overgive, overshare, or overpursue, you make her feel like she already owns you. And once she feels that she stops feeling anything at all, she doesn't ghost you because she's cruel. She ghosts you because your certainty smothered her curiosity. You were supposed to be a fire she danced around, not a fireplace she could sit beside and ignore. So now, you rebuild. And you don't rebuild by becoming cold, bitter, or distant. You rebuild by tightening the gates around your energy. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't ask real questions. You stop giving second chances to women who use the first one to measure your weakness. You stop chasing validation from someone who never proved they were safe to let in. And when she comes back, as they often do, liking your stories, sending that "Hey stranger" text, acting like nothing happened, you don't punish her. But you never forget what her silence revealed. Because the man who's finally awakened understands that attention is a weapon. That presence is currency. That silence is a message. The most powerful move you can make is not to return to the person who didn't recognize you the first time. It's to become the man who never needs to ask again, "What did I do wrong?" Because you already know. You forgot that your time, your attention, your desire is not a gift to throw at the feet of beauty. It's a crown to be earned, slowly, intentionally, fully. From this day forward, everything changes. When you meet a woman who lights you up, you don't rush in, you observe, you stay grounded, you listen with warmth, but you don't reveal your soul after 2 conversations. You build tension, you let her lean in, you create a standard so high, so quietly dignified, that she feels lucky to be let in. You smile, not because you're trying to win her, but because you already know who you are. That's what real attraction is. Stillness. That's what real confidence is, selectivity. And that's what real power is, the refusal to lose yourself just to keep someone else interested. So when she leaves next time and won, well, you don't collapse. You don't chase. You don't explain. You watch. You breathe. You let her silence echo back to her, because you've learned the truth too many men miss. Until it's too late, she didn't break you. She revealed what you were too afraid to protect.